that I was following them.
Okay.
They don't know actually, but I was interested to learn English. It was some what can I say? It was something special, beyond special for me to watch them, from too close to them.
Hello everyone, good day. Welcome to my another podcast, Teacher Talks podcast. So here I have another teacher whose name is Mr. Shaju, and he's here with me today, and we will have some discussion regarding his personal hobbies and the things that he really like to do with. So those things basically we will talk with each other. And as you know that in teaching profession we have a lot of things to do. Apart from this, we also have some hobbies to just refresh our mind and things do for the better. Okay, so Mr. Shaju, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty much good, sir. Alhamdulillah, great. How about you, sir? How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm really nice and I'm really good today. And thank you very much and welcome to my podcast.
You're most welcome.
So do you watch podcasts on YouTube or something like this?
I do watch podcasts. I have, in my learning days, I have watched too much, I think. When I was to learn English, when I was a beginner, years ago, I used to watch a lot of podcasts in YouTube.
Okay, before going to your hobby, let's talk something about the podcast. What do you think? How the podcast helps the student to learn English better?
I think podcast is the easiest thing to help our students to become a good speaker, a good listener as well. Because when you listen or see or watch podcast, in what we discuss, what about the podcast viewers or presenters present, it's too easy to understand and it's too easy to listen, or it gives us a lot of lessons.
Do you recommend your students?
I do recommend myself to watch more podcasts. Yes, absolutely. I recommend my students to watch and listen podcasts every day.
Okay, wait. In a specific genre you like to listen?
Sometimes I listen you on Facebook, not on YouTube. It's for.
But the previous version was in Bengali version.
Yes.
So now we have started the English version podcast here.
So I didn't remember the name, but as I said that in my learning period, I listened a lot of podcasts.
Okay.
And it was varieties of varieties of presenters. So I don't know that, I didn't remember the name, but I've listened a lot of podcasts.
And what about the BBC? What will you say about the BBC podcast?
Yeah, I could tell about you. The BBC is amazing. BBC is, I think we started BBC. We had lessons about BBC. BBC is so articulate, so clear, and it helps us to improve our listening, as well as it can give us different kind of vocabularies. So that we can use on our daily basis English.
Yes.
And there are some idioms and phrases which is so helpful in our IELTS English, basically. So
what the other area of English language about the podcast, like the pronunciation? Because you know that we are the non-native speakers, and you live in Bangladesh, I live in Bangladesh, so we always face and also English is not our second language as well. It's a foreign language. We are learning English as a foreign language, so it's quite tough for our students to get the well environment on English language learning, or you know that as a teacher you also face such kind of problems while you are teaching to your students. So what about the pronunciations and others learning things which is included in the English language basically helpful?
I have a very good answer for that.
Okay.
Which is, what we have, what our teachers taught us back in schools. It was not that actually right. We learned the wrong pronunciation as well as the wrong alphabets. We say A, B, C, D, which is, I think, wrong. It's gonna be, if we say A, the word will come from A, we will pronounce it wrong. So what podcast can help us here, which is in English, as we learned not the right thing in school, as it is in Bangladesh, it's happening in regular basis. So podcast can help us to learn the right pronunciation of words of any sentences. Like you can listen the right thing from there. You can learn the right pronunciation of any of podcasts.
Okay.
The right English actually,
basically, you know that your second language, on your second language or your foreign language, there will be a impact of your language on that language. So that's why it can be changed in pronunciation a little, because the way you speak in Bengali is not your way in speaking in English. And also there are also some uses of inside our mouth organ, which there are some sounds that we are not getting in our Bangla language. Like I can say about a sound which is called the j sound, and we say in Bengali people say it like television. It's the wrong pronunciation.
Yeah, it's television.
But if we learn from the native speakers, they usually pronounce it as a television.
Yes.
We say Asia. That'll be Asia.
Asia. Yeah.
So this sound is not available in our Bangla language.
Yes.
So that's why we may have some problem in.
That's why we need to watch podcasts, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's why we have to face podcasts. We have to watch a lot of YouTube's videos. We have to listen a different kind of European teachers who teach English. So yeah, that's my recommendation is going to be podcast. Listens different types of different kind of teachers who teach well. And in my case, basically I'm a Gen Z. So as I am from Sylhet, but I have other language. I have my mother tongue Sylheti.
Yes.
And Sylheti is my first language.
Yes.
Second is Bangla, the proper Bangla.
Yes.
The third is going to be English. So
okay.
There is 3 language I had to learn. And as I'm a Gen Z, so I think Gen Z can do anything. Gen Z can face any problems. They can solve any issues. So I'm proud of it, and I can actually. Sometimes I think the generation we have now, the generation will come after this generation is going to be more better than this, because we are learning the right thing right nowadays. The teachers, the institute we have in Bangladesh recently, so they're giving us a proper lessons, proper pronunciation and everything. It's changing day by day, basically.
Okay. What is the impact of English language learning inside your country's economy? What do you think?
It's actually now good. Before it wasn't that good, I think, before, because now whenever we see people speak English, at least if as much as they can. So nowadays it's changing a little bit. People are getting the right thing from the right place. So as I said that we learned the wrong thing from back in school. We didn't get the right lessons. We know the A, B, C, D, but this is not the right thing, I think. To be able to communicate with the foreigner, European, American, the thing that our teachers taught us in school, it's not actually the right thing to be able to communicate with the foreigner. So what we are getting nowadays, now from this generation,
yes.
what's actually Gen Z got, and the next generation will be the perfect for communicating with other in everything, in every cases.
Okay. What made you interested in learning English?
Actually,
I want to listen from your early stages of learning English.
My learning was from some British. I think I've told you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's inform our audience that what actually made you interested.
People have different types of dreams,
yes,
and ambitions, aim. My aims and dream was I want to speak English. When I see Londoni, and as I'm a Sylheti, I was in Sylhet back in 10 years ago, 10-15 years ago. I was a kid. I really wanted to learn English. I was so crazy, and I was so interested that, and I used to make dua to Allah that one day I want to speak English. And I used to follow British, and that was British was my turning point. I didn't talk to them from the first day. I listened to them, but like a podcast.
You got tasked with the British Bangladeshi people.
Yes.
who basically born and raised in Britain.
In England,
And they have come here. You have some chances to went with them in different places in the country, and you guided them. So in that time, you have that kind of inspiration that you have got, what you shared with me earlier.
Basically, it is there were like a podcast to me.
Okay.
Like podcast, why we listen podcast, why we watch podcast.
That was a live podcast.
Yes,
okay?
that was a live podcast actually.
Okay, great.
We listen, we watch podcast to understand and make ourselves better in English. So that was some universal special for. So this was, I would say, the beyond special to me, because it was too much live to me, and I could see them, I could copy them, and as I said, that it wasn't that I start speaking them from the first day. It took me.
How cooperate were they to you?
I would say that as our generation is now getting better, I would say the British people, actually, they are not British, they're Bangladeshi. I would say they're proud Bangladeshi. They always say that I'm not British, they're Bangladeshi.
Okay.
So the encouragement matters. The encouragement. We do mistakes when you learn English, but they never said that, Shaju, you are doing mistakes. They said, that's better, just keep it up. Cheers, mate. That's what they used to say to me. And that's the thing. I would request to my audience, whoever watching us, please do not let down people by saying anything wrong, that you're not doing better, you should improve. You could say that you should improve, but the first priority would be encourage them. The encouragement should need to come out from your mouth. That's the thing. The encouragement actually matters.
Basically, language learning is not a short-term activity.
Yes.
And it will not happen overnight, right?
Yeah.
You should have a deep sense of desireness of learning this language or any kind of language in the world, and most probably you will not get that kind of environment that will help you to learn implicitly. You have to learn in explicit way. So as you have got the chance to talk to the people who from the Britain, and you have a chance to imitate them, you just followed them, and you gathered all the ingredients from them which will help you to speak English better. But what actually we learn from our course teacher, our classes, and the books that we have got available, but that those things are explicit. Those are not basically helping us learning the language like we learn the language in our mother tongue. This is basically a challenge for everyone who learn English not naturally. So that means you are the luckiest person who actually got that chance to talk to them and to learn from them. So don't you think that as we are not getting all the students are not have that chance to talk to the native people whose mother language is English, so they should watch podcast and they should listen over and over again and pass most of the time on their lazy day on the podcast.
I'd like to add something, which is sometimes for the people, for whoever wants to speak English, whoever wants to learn English, environment is matter for them. Environment actually matters. So nowadays, as I was saying, some institutes is available in Bangladesh. I would say my institute, TalentHut, is one of I think this is the only institute are full of English version. So actually environment matters. As not everyone can have the opportunity to get touch with British or Britain or English native speakers. So what they can do is find out a better institute like TalentHut, so they can find a better environment of English version. So actually this matters nowadays, because you are not in that environment, you will be never able to learn the language. Because if you speak Bangla always, you know already Bangla, you will get attached with Bangla once again, so it will not gonna work for you, it will not gonna work in your favor. So you need to go institute like TalentHut, where teachers, students admin sections, everywhere speak English. So when you listen, you catch and you got impressed and you get inspiration from them, like I got from the British people. So you can get it. The environment actually matters here.
Creating the artificial environment for the students, it's really what do you say, it's really very easy for them to get the point and to learn the language, isn't it?
It's absolutely too much easy busy nowadays, because as I said, the environment matters. Whenever a newcomer will come here to learn English, to speak English, when they will put themselves in an English environment, it is going to be too much easy for them to get in as soon as possible.
Basically, from now on, it is 2024. If I wanna get some information about your first language journey, so how many years have taken to get you here?
As a teacher?
No, not as a teacher, as a learner.
As a learner?
Yeah.
It took me, as a learner, it took me 3-4 years.
3 to 4
2 years, 2-3 years almost.
Okay.
And after that, I start teaching.
Okay.
But as I had advantage, as I had the environment, as I said, environment matters. So when you have the environment, it is going to be easy for you to learn things easily. So I am the luckiest one. I'm honored to them, whoever helped me throughout this, and they didn't know that. The British people didn't know yet that I was following them.
Okay.
They don't know actually, but I was interested to learn English. It was some what can I say? It was something special, beyond special for me, to watch them from too close to them and copy them back behind them. So they don't know actually I was copying them and all that. So environment matters.
Okay. Now let's talk about your teaching profession.
Yes.
So how much do you enjoy your profession?
It's superb. It's comfort zone for me now. Actually, I love teaching. I'm getting lessons from my gurus, from my whoever had an experience
Mentors.
like you. I have learned. It's been a year, half an a year. I've learned a lot of things. Yes, that was turning point. But sometimes you need to get lessons. You need to learn disciplines and everything, which I got from TalentHut, and yet I'm learning. So I love teaching, and I love to go to classes. I love to teach students. Actually, it's my whenever I go to the class, I introduce myself, say that basically I'm a social butterfly, and I'm a strict teacher as well. Social butterfly means I love to have chat with you. I will make you understand everything. I'm your solutions. So you can ask anything for me, any favor, I will help you throughout English in these sections. And as well as a strict teacher, because if you are not a strict teacher, you can get the lesson from your students, and they won't be able to learn anymore. So
in this aspect, can I address you as only the strict teacher, or you are also friendly with your students?
I'm an entertainer. I'm not gonna say strict teacher. Strict teacher is the last thing. But
okay.
Firstly, you have to be entertainer.
Okay.
As I said, a social butterfly.
Yes.
It means that you can be anything with your students, but also as well as strict, because lessons first.
You have to balance everything.
Yeah, you have to balance everything. So entertainer. Nowadays teacher should need to be entertainer, because it matters.
Whom do you teach basically? Do you teach the adult students, or do you teach the child?
I teach the adult students.
Adults, okay.
Adults understand. I can teach both. I had experience teaching in a school back in Sylhet. I have taught kids, but now I'm teaching adults, and they understand. They really understand.
Okay.
They're learning. They're really interested, and they listened. And sometimes, as I said, the teacher should be entertainer, because you have to give. You can't make your students bored. So it matters. So as well, giving entertainment as well as lessons, both can help the students in a very good favor, in a very good way.
Okay. If there is a mixability students inside the classroom who has a very poor basic, and there are also some students who have a strong basic in English language, so how do you deal them, and what is the strategy that you follow inside the classroom?
I have a very good strategy. We have a very good strategy here, which is if there is students with no basic, and we see students with basic, so we go with the same sometimes, and the students who doesn't have basic, we give them at least more minutes, a few like we tell them to come early as soon as possible, or after, to meet us after the class, or sit down with the class after the class, so that we can give at least more about the things to make him with the basic students capable to actually understand the things.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sajun. Let's go to the third part of this podcast conversation.
Yes.
Let's talk about your hobby.
Yeah.
You are quite young man, and
I am Gen Z, sir.
you are a quite energetic person in our center. So basically, what do you do in your free time?
Nowadays, I'm a professional teacher. I don't have that much free time. I don't have that much leisure time. I go at least I get a free time at night. So I have mobile phone. I watch sports, football.
You are a
and sometimes I do read as well. Reading matters actually.
Okay.
So first of all, as I've been through the whole day, I teach, learn everything, because teaching is also learning. So I do this. End of the day, I love to watch some football matches. I listen. It's like a podcast, because it's gonna when you watch a football match, there is English commentary as well. So it's also part of lesson. It's a part of learning.
Did you try ever mimicking this?
Yeah, commentary? I have tried many times. I have tried a cricket analyst, a cricket commentator. His name is Nasir Hussain from England. Okay. So I have tried. I tried to try to imitate him actually. So I do actually. It's better sometimes to it gives you more energy. It gives you more hope, inspiration.
Okay.
Because when you learn it's nice sometimes. So in free time, I love to watch football matches. Okay. I listen to the commentator.
And what is your favorite game?
I love, in Bangladesh we generally watch or play football or cricket. So both can be my favorite. Seasonal, like now is Premier League is going on, English Premier League football. Now I'm watching Premier League.
Do you play?
I play. I really play. I love to play.
When do you get your time to play?
I have already mentioned I'm a teacher now.
Okay.
So I only get time on Friday to play only football. And when as I'm a teacher of TalentHut, when we arrange a competition, we have two branches here, Uttara branch and Gazipur branch. We play at least after a month or 2 months later. We arrange a competition between the two branches and we play cricket or football, whatever we can.
Do you have any experience in teaching the students outside of your classroom?
Outside of classroom?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's not about teaching, it's sometimes you have to give motivation them.
Okay.
You have to motivate them that, sometimes students get hesitate, nervous, and as a professional teacher, you have to guide them well. So it is about motivating them.
This is a very good sign that you sometimes arrange football or cricket matches between your students, and they have at least some kind of motivation and entertainment that they will get. So what is the duration of your course inside the center?
It's about, if I talk about the 6-month contractual,
okay,
the duration is 3 hours. It's only the duration is 3 hours, but we give more sometimes, 1 hour more to make our students more capable on our lessons.
Okay, you talked about the reading. What genres of book do you like to read? Recently I started reading. We have a nice library in our TalentHut Gazipur branch. So I'm reading varieties of books. Whenever I'm interested, when I see the books, I just get it and start reading. It gives me energy sometimes, because reading is actually matters. It helps you in the next period when you are going for IELTS or something like that. You have a bunch of colleagues inside your center, and how are they helpful to you, and are they helping you to develop your professional works or responsibilities?
They're actually super helpful. I don't know why I have been always so lucky. I was always put in what can I say, I have always been in the right place. So I think here I'm also in the right place. I got to meet some nice persons. I have you here. You are a teacher as well, CO as well. So and I have admin sections, some management people. They are helpful, and the most helpful is our teachers. Actually, whenever you have we have lackings, we learn every day. So they help us. Actually, they're super positive. They're super helpful.
Okay, great, Mr. Shaju. Another day we will have another podcast. And thank you everyone who are watching our podcast for last few minutes. And I hope that you have enjoyed this. And here, as Mr. Shaju have joined here 1.5 years ago in my center, and he has been doing this job very professionally. And we have a lot of trainings and learning segments, both in teaching and learning English, so that all the teachers of TalentHut or my center, they can get a good benefit from this in present as well as the future. So Mr. Shaju, this podcast only for the teachers. So do you want to say something from your experience for the teachers of the world, that what a teacher should be?
Obviously, it's an honor for me that I can be a teacher at this age. As you can see, I'm not that older, but I will I will tell. It's not gonna be okay that I advise you, because you guys will be my seniors. So sometimes teachers should be entertainer. You got to be entertainer first of all. That's gonna be your first priorities, to make your students understand the lessons. So what I do personally, I try to be entertainer. Then I just try to be strict day by day. So I maintain both, and this can help everyone to be a teacher, to be a better teacher in future. And thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shaju, for joining my today's podcast, and thank you all of you for watching us. So whoever watching us on YouTube, please do subscribe, and who are watching us on Facebook, please feel free to share. And if you have any question, any query, please comment down below. And thank you for today, and welcome for the next episode. Thank you very much. Have a good time.
Thank you.